This is the orbit diagram of the logistic map. So here's the parameter changing, and here's the stable attractor of the system. And so at first we have that fixed point that's a stable attractor at r equals 3. It undergoes a bifurcation where it's become unstable, so it's no longer being shown on this orbit diagram. And we have a stable period 2 structure. This Java applet is going to allow us to explore the fractal nature of this orbit diagram. So I'm going to zoom in. Let's see. Over here we have this period 3 window appear, and I'm just going to zoom in on that period 3 window. Zooming in, you can see that it looks quite a bit like a scaled down copy of our whole diagram, maybe a little bit distorted. Here's that single fixed point bifurcating into 2 fixed points, into 4, into 8 through the period doubling cascade. And we can't quite see it, but there's each of these. Here's within this scaled in, so single to 2 to the period 4 through the period doublings. And then we have the period 3 window again. And if I zoom in on this little piece, okay, 1 to 2 to 4 through the period doublings, and then we have that big period 3 window. If I zoom in again, and again, and again, and again, these might be quite distorted copies. Here's the 1 and the 2 as we go through the period doubling cascades, and then that period 3 window. I've zoomed in a ton right now. Right now my range of R is from 3.849433. Okay, wow. The difference in R isn't even showing up on the screen right now. I'm zoomed in very close to 3.849433, and everything about this diagram looks the same. And if I zoom in again, and again, I'm beginning to run out of the ability to zoom. We're seeing tiny little copies of the whole diagram, and this one's quite distorted. It's squished in the vertical, and it's at a strange angle, but there's our period 3 window, and inside that period 3 window, okay, we've gone to the resolution of the applet, but we actually have another copy. So I can zoom in someplace else. Why don't I zoom in on this little period 3 window, and I'll zoom in on the middle one in there. And you're seeing our entire orbit diagram up essentially replicated and distorted in miniature many, many times over at many different scales. And so that's the fractal structure of this orbit diagram, that in each of these periodic windows, we can zoom in and see this period doubling cascade and all of the same structures that we see in the whole orbit diagram.